I am Kamali Clore. I'm a fourth-year student on Student Senate, and I'm the Director of Student Services. I also serve as one of the Campus Vote Project Fellows, and I will let Sailor take it away and do more introductions. Go ahead, Sailor.
Hi everyone, my name is Sailor. I am a second-year student and second year on Student Senate. I am the Director of Government Affairs, and I am also a CVP Fellow on campus. And CVP is just voter engagement, and so is CEEP, the Campus Election Engagement Project. And I'll let Allie take it away.
Hi guys, I'm a third-year political science major, and I am one of the fellows for the College Election Engagement Program, and Aaron is actually going to tell you more about it.
Hi everyone, I'm Aaron, second-year econ major, and CEEP is a national, nonpartisan Get Out the Vote project and voter registration campaign, and we just try to make sure all the young people who are usually not represented in our democracy get out and vote this November.
That's awesome. Rhea, did you want to mention anything?
Yeah. Oh my God. Sorry, my camera and mic are being muted today, so that's perfect. I'm Rhea Chabra. I'm the president of Student Senate, and I've been working closely with Sailor and Kamali to get like the voter education and engagement like platform, Motivo, as well as events like provided for everyone. So please let me know if you have any questions, but you guys are all on Senate here, so I'm sure like you will. So, and I'm sure you guys know everything, so we can go ahead and get started.
Absolutely. So Allie will be pulling up our Kahoot. So for all members here, there will be a meeting ID to kind of join, and then we can go ahead and play it from there. All right. Allie, do you remember how many questions the Kahoot is?
Yeah, it's 27. I don't know if you guys can hear me over the music.
Yeah, the music is bumping, but that's good. Thanks.
Okay, it's 27 questions.
Awesome, awesome.
I haven't played this since high school.
Is everyone in?
And my name won't be popping up just because I'm limited in my technology. So you can start whenever everyone else is in.
Is everyone in it yet? Or I think we're missing Kamali, which she said he's getting in. I think Marcella dropped out accidentally.
You can start it.
Okay.
Ooh, let's see. All right.
Oops.
So yes, suffrage / franchise means right to vote. So yeah, if people hear terms out there meaning like disenfranchisement, those are all things that terms that mean precluding you from voting.
Well,
I wonder who's going to be on top.
Why not?
Okay, all right, WC.
Fresh out of 2010.
What does ratified mean? All right, so y'all are so intelligent, man. It's gonna be hard to stump you here. And the goal is not to stump you; it's just you
The
guys
goal
are
is to
smart.
educate us.
The first
That's
question
right.
to me, I've never ever had that question asked to me, so I'm like,
Right, I feel that. Mm.
Oh my God, I got that wrong. That's embarrassing. Oh
Yep,
no,
those are all the people in a country or area who are entitled to vote in an election.
Sailor, the fact that like we're at the bottom and leading this
I
initiative,
know.
Kamali,
Not even like,
That's why I didn't want to play.
I'm not even on the scoreboard. Like, how embarrassing.
that's why he's asking all the questions.
All right. What population was eligible to vote in 1855? That's right. White males who owned property. And this stipulation was eliminated in 1856, meaning the stipulation of owning property. So after 1856, it was just white males. That's only the identity you needed to have in order to vote.
Was there an age requirement?
There was an age requirement.
Okay.
And we'll talk about that. Yeah, for sure.
Sailor and me switch spots. Like, I'm at the bottom. Kamali,
15th
these
Amendment.
so hard.
These are hard? Okay. Well, that's why we're going over them a little bit. And feel free to ask questions.
Okay.
I like want to stop because I'm making myself seem stupid. I'm
Hey.
not.
Nobody's gonna sign up for Motivo after this.
Okay, 15th Amendment said that voting cannot be denied because of race. And there were other restrictions on that, but this was the general policy of the amendment that was passed, which allowed African Americans to vote. And we'll talk about other demographics and their franchisement in the U.S. as far as voting.
Okay, Minot.
Wow.
She's like educated on this. I like it.
Honestly, it was an educated guess, I would say.
Okay, that's what they all say, Mon. Now look at me. That's what a guess looks like. I'm on the bottom.
50-50 here.
If I don't get this right, I have an argument. So I have an argument again. Yes, okay, good.
What was your argument going to be?
Well, if the true was wrong, I was going to say, well, it, but it's right. Never mind. I had this whole argument going on.
Okay. Yep. The number of electors from each state is roughly with in line with the size of the population. So there are 538 electors in total for the U.S. And each elector represents one electoral vote, and a candidate needs to gain a majority of votes. And we'll talk about that majority later on in another question. And when I say candidate, presidential candidate. Yes. So they are only two states that divide. So it is false. Maine and Alabama are not the only two states. It's actually Maine and Nebraska. So that was Allie. You snuck that in there. That was crafty. That was crafty.
The crazy thing is how do you guys know this? Like, I've never.
Exactly.
It's the research. See, the voting research to give you all the answers you need.
I know,
But
but
yeah,
like,
these are things like students don't know.
Me and Sailor are sitting here like, what?
Sitting here like, we know what we're doing.
I only knew.
But Maine and Nebraska are the only exceptions for this electoral college like plurality rule. They just
Why
divide
is
up
that?
their electoral college votes.
You guys know why?
That is a good question, and I think we should research that. We can maybe discuss it afterward, but I think that's a very much an historical question, so we'll have to look back into that.
Yeah, that's gonna be the next question. The
All right, this is the question of the majority of votes for the presidential candidate. What is the magic number for electoral college votes? Right. So the number is 270 is the threshold or more to win the presidency. And generally, for all the other states, they award all the electoral college votes to whoever won the poll majority. So poll majority means 50.1%. So that 0.1 over. So that is majority of ordinary votes in that state. It's very important to know. As Michiganders. And maybe some of you who are watching this not from Michigan, you can certainly look up your state's electoral votes. Yep, 16 is the number.
And that's because we have 14 representatives and 2 senators.
And this number may change after the next census.
Absolutely. Good points. That's right, false.
I'm climbing up.
And that's something we should definitely look into as well. Why don't citizens from Puerto Rico and Guam, aren't they able to vote in federal elections?
Which is very interesting because they can vote in primary elections.
Right.
It won't let me vote fast enough. I'd be number 1 right now.
Really?
Yes.
Hold this question right here.
It's rigged, Sailor.
So I have a few things to mention. Yeah, talking about the topic, I recently spoke with one of the disability liaisons for the City Department of Elections, and it was really enlightening on some of the concerns like someone like a voter with a disability interacts with when they embark on their voting experience. And we were talking about terms and different body language and things as a poll worker should know when interacting with those individuals. So some of the things that she mentioned to me is like, you know, now in society we're getting rid of the handicap term. Handicap is not a term that should be used, and a lot of people who are disabled, you know, from that community feel that that term is not a respectful term and shouldn't be a term that should be labeled upon them. Another one was when you're addressing someone with a disability, maybe they come in with a person of assistance, don't talk to the person who is assisting them. Give them the acknowledgement and respect of talking to that person who may have that disability, not know if they may be cognitively impaired, but don't just assume that. And those are some of the implicit biases we have. And then another thing is, you know, when you see someone on like crutches or with a cane, and offer them a chair to sit and when you sit, you grab a chair yourself, putting yourself at an even playing field, like in a physical space. And those are like things to make people and voters with disabilities comfortable. And another thing that we do as far as our voting system is really trying to be inclusive in our democracy. So we have curbside voting, in which individuals who may be disabled don't have to let their car to vote. We would go out there. It takes 2 poll workers to go out there and provide the application for that individual to fill out. We take it back inside, then provide them their ballot so they can vote, give them space and time to do that, and be able to help them assist in casting their vote. So there's various ways that we can accommodate individuals, and even using our VAT machine. Our VAT machine accommodates individuals who are deaf or blind. So all these other concerns. And we'll kind of talk about this question a little bit after this, and kind of look at what the case was diving into. Okay, this is the question you asked about, Aaron. Where's their age limit? And so up until, I sort of gave it away, but up until this amendment, you had to be 18 years or excuse me, this allowed 18-year-olds to vote. And so after 1971, 18-year-olds were precluded from voting. And so that's where that voting relation of where the age was a restriction for people to vote.
I think before this it was 21, if I'm not mistaken.
Yes, 21. All right.
I read that wrong. That was
It was a little bit tricky. Yeah, the Voting Rights Act of 1965 did forbid states from imposing discriminatory restrictions on who can vote.
Y'all, it's raining so hard right now.
Yeah, and I have to go to work, so I hope I don't encounter any of that. But those are all forms of disenfranchisement that stopped by this act, at least in some capacity. This one's tricky too. Yep, all of these were forms of disenfranchisement policies for people of color. Any questions regarding these? What kind of this looked like? Okay, yeah, you had poll taxes where individuals who necessarily couldn't afford the taxes weren't able to vote. Literacy tests, so knowing that in minority communities, just because of effects of racism and housing discrimination, there was lack of educational foundation in some of these communities. And so literacy tests were passed to kind of stratify in which certain communities could not understand the content on these literacy tests, which prohibited them to vote. Registration barriers. Some states continue to have those, but in different capacities and in different forms. But a lot of these have been diminishing over time. Up until now, we're still looking at ways to make voting more accessible for individuals to exercise their democracy. Yep, the 24th Amendment of 1964.
I'm coming for you, Denishi.
Yes, the 23rd Amendment of 1961 provided D.C., District of Columbia, the right to receive electoral to be counted. Okay, now Aaron got the highest streak, as I see. When were Asian Americans eligible to vote? And this is what we talked about. Yep. So 1952, under the McCarran-Walter Act, which granted Asian Americans the right to become citizens and vote in the U.S.
Who got that right?
I did.
Nice, Sarah.
That's all right.
Hopefully my guesses are 2 for 2.
Yeah, 1924, under the Snyder Act, which Congress granted citizenship to all Native Americans born in the U.S. However, some were still not allowed to vote until 1957 because the right to vote was governed by states at the time.
Whoa. I did not know it was that early.
Me either. I assumed it was much later.
I thought it was 1963.
Okay, I only got it right because I guessed. So
1963.
okay. I'm still in 6th place, so no need to worry, guys.
Yes. Any questions on this one? Great 19th. And that was in 1920. But that was when it said not all women, that did not include Native American and Asian women because they didn't have citizenship. Yeah. So the reason for this is, in southern states, slaves made up a large portion of the population. And so even though slaves didn't vote, they were counted in the U.S. Census as 3/5 of a person. And so since the number of electoral votes was determined by the size of a state's population. Southern states had more influence in electing a president or any other candidate than a direct public vote would have given them because of those electoral college votes. It's a popular one. Yeah, gerrymandering continues to be a big issue, and it's the drawing of electoral district lines to the advantage of a specific party or group. And so it's generally just bound manipulation. Aaron's still in the lead. Allow people to vote, lineal descendants of voters. Yeah, grandfather. So these clauses were placed exceptions, particularly white males, from like educational or property or tax requirements for voting. All those disenfranchisement methods that were put on minority communities, people of color. All right, this one's interesting, and it may be a wake-up call. Yeah, ages 65 and older have the highest voter turnout. That means stuff we're doing here is good to just educate youth on getting more civic engagement and knowing how much just not even a presidential election, but voting in general. You know, you have state and local officials on the ballots who make up your daily policies. And so getting seats at the table by first voting. You can't say you fight for this and fight for that, but don't vote to put the voice behind it. So
I like how the 45-year-olds to the 65-year-olds are just like not included. Like you're like
And we can get into what the definition of a swing state is. But yes, these are the big six swing states: Florida, Michigan, Wisconsin, North Carolina, Arizona, and Pennsylvania. Other phrases for this are battleground states, because these states could easily be won by the Democratic or Republican Party. So you see in the last moments leading up to the election, there's been a lot of campaigning in these states because they do sway the elections.
They also
results.
call local states.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so that's false. The states that do not offer early voting are Alabama, Connecticut, New Hampshire, Mississippi, and Delaware. So those 5.
Sorry, guys, that's a trick question.
I thought there was more than 10 for some reason.
Yeah, and in Michigan, there's a misconception. I'll let you all celebrate the winners. So congrats to you all, and congrats to everyone for participating.
I think we all won because we all gained education.
Absolutely.
Right.
But there's been some misconception, like in Michigan. Michigan doesn't have early voting. We just have, you can cast in your absentee ballot early. It's just not early voting like some other states have.
We have early voting. You can go in to the polling location early.
Yeah, but just the phrase, it's not like you vote early. Like there's like a
I think
day
that's still
of like
considered absentee.
Yeah, it's still considered absentee. people just it's the phrase thing. I think a lot of our language that we use too, that's part of the big misconceptions. Yeah, but any questions regarding that? I thought that was great. It was fun.
Yeah, I learned a lot. It was kind of rude of Kahoot not to include me and put all the other 5 players on the leaderboard, but it's okay. But I did learn a lot. It was a great Kahoot. It was very educational.
Okay, awesome. Well, thank you so much for everyone for attending, and we look forward to seeing you soon through all the other voter education events. Again, please engage with Student Senate, the Campus Vote Project, and the Campus Election Engagement Project, because we're all here to unite the campus's voting initiatives and just bring more student voter turnout, because that is the goal. So thanks everyone for attending, and we hope to see you soon.
Thanks, guys.
Thank you for having us.
Bye, everyone.
Bye.
Thank you.
Taylor, are we staying
We can
on?
stop the recording.
Yes.
Okay. Yeah. Can we stop the recording?